and today's topic is building self-belief in addiction recovery, why consistency builds confidence. For those who are new to the channel, my name is Ashley Bloxham. I'm a therapist. I specialise in childhood and trauma. I'm also an addictions counsellor. I've overcame addiction. I would say that's what qualifies as the most. But I've also studied it right the way up to PhD level. And I know it's like for a loved one, to have a loved one who struggles in addiction. So today's topic, like I said, is how to build self-confidence in addiction recovery. I think it can be common for people, and it certainly was for me, that when we come out of addiction, that our confidence and self-esteem is shot. We think that attach this idea that we're a bad person because we had an addiction. Maybe we believe that we can't be consistent at something, that we fail at things. All these negative self-belief ideas that we've either had before the addiction, which have been solidified in the addiction, or that we create during the addiction. The truth of the matter is, it's not true. However, you've probably stacked up a pile of evidence that is making you believe that it is. Because when we're in something and we're trying to stop it and we can't, we feel like we're failing, which means we then internalize that, and it usually turns into a lack of confidence. So how do we get away from this? Mally, I'll answer straight after that, but what was I addicted to? Asking ketamine, but just mind-altering substances, my psychiatrist said. Literally anything and everything that would just make us wrecked or pissed. So how do we build up our confidence? So self-confidence is built in competence. So the more competent at life that we feel, the more confident we will be in life. The more competent we feel in ourselves, then the more confident we'll get. So it's through action. So if we believe that we give up, or maybe we believe that I let people down, start to create situations where you're not letting people down, starting with yourself. So decide, I'm going to do something, and try and stick to it. Remember as well, when we're trying to build confidence, we don't want to set the bar so high that we're failing. So just one small task and stick to it every day. And just don't let yourself off the hook. You'll start to feel good about yourself because you're doing something. Chris, how you doing? Chris saying hello, Ashley and everyone else. Just got my wisdom tooth removed. Just stopping to say I love you all and praying for you. Keep on fighting. Oh my God. I hope you're okay, Chris. Toothache is absolute kicker. But yeah, thanks for saying hi. I hope you're okay too. Yeah, so other ways to build self-confidence is if we are sitting there putting ourselves down and telling ourselves we can't and we're rubbish and I'm a shit person and I'm this and I'm that, we will believe that. So what we need to do is we need to flip the script. We need to be so intentional what we call ourselves. And even when we're joking, like if you're one of those people who put yourself down while you're joking, don't. Just really big yourself up, because we do believe the things that we tell ourselves. And if we don't fully believe that, so if we're putting ourselves down and we flip the script and say something positive, we need to make sure we're believing it. So try and evidence it, and also evidence why the negative is not true. So take that thought that you're having to court and find the evidence. If there's not full evidence to support it 100%, scrap it. It's gone. Positive stuff, positive self-talk. David the plumber, how you doing? Hi mate, I hope you're okay. I've lapsed again, but so bad today. Think I may have ADHD, finding it hard to stop. Can go a week or so before thoughts of using. Relationship ended recently as well. I'm so sorry that your relationship's ended. Do you want to have a one-to-one? Also, I know that you said you've lapsed, but you're sober, but the fact you've picked yourself up is like tremendous. It really is. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for when we pick ourselves up to having a lapse recently. It's really hard to do. ADHD does make sense. Yeah, would you want to have a one-to-one, David, and try and like just kind of hash it out? But the fact that you've picked yourself up, that's the main thing. I think like sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for that, because it's so easy just to think fuck it, like put in the fuck it bucket and just go full on relapse. But yeah, ADHD makes sense, because ADHD and addiction do really go hand in hand. But I do have ADHD myself, and I have managed to get off addiction. I know other people who have, but it does make it harder. and it means you're more likely to act on impulse. Can go for a week. Yeah, so it's again them going a week or so before the thoughts of using. So like sometimes we get that steam, but then when remember our brains are like rewiring, and that starts to happen after about 3 weeks, and it continues. On average, the bulk of it's happening in 3 months, but it does go on longer for some people. So again, it's really common to get stuck at the point that you're at. What is there a certain trigger? Like, is it a certain day or a certain time? Like, there's a witching hour in addiction. So like there's a time between like 4 and 6 p.m. Most people tend to be like it's to do with their circadian rhythm. It's to do with like normally being hungry and just different things go on at that time. So people are more likely to relapse. So is there any trends that you can notice when you're lapsing all the time? And what are the triggers, David? Because even with ADHD being impulsive, there's probably something which is like a quick fire trigger beforehand. Hi, how are you doing, Sean? Thanks, Ashley. I don't really think that was great, David. If you want to have a one-to-one, that would and you think that would be better, because it's really hard just like I think like saying little things over the screen, because it sounds like there's a lot going on there. And also look, the relationship breakdown, that's a huge trigger. And the fact that you've picked yourself up even though you're going through something really shit and hard is like massive, David. It really is. Dawn, you're busy today. Busy? Oh, there's hardly anyone on. Yeah, there's only 7 people. It's all right though, because I feel like if it's less people, then I just finish early, so I can have a nice little cute cozy night for myself. I think it's when I'm a little bit late, but my son just doesn't seem to be going to sleep recently. I really appreciate how you do a one-to-one. Yeah, let's do that. Just go to my website, davidschoolofaddiction.co.uk, and I'll send you me Calendly link. Oh, don't say no. I meant this is your second live. And also, I do 2 lives on I do morning and evening on Monday, Wednesday, and I used to do the same on Friday, but I've got rid of the Friday evening because I do like 5 buses to drop my son off. So yeah, I always do morning and evening, but I only do it on 3 days. Unknown user. Hello, little emoji man or woman. Yeah, there's not many people on, but if anyone's got any questions around addiction or mental health, if not, we'll just have a short but sweet one tonight. If anyone's listening who's overcame addiction, have you got any tips for David, who keeps like getting to a week and then seems to just kind of get past that point and lapses again? Ray, how are you doing? I've hit the year mark for stopping alcohol. That's unreal. I find myself being bored recently and wanted to find out from you where I can go having 1 year down. What do you mean where you can go? What do you mean where you can go? What do you mean by that, Ray? That's unreal about your 1 year. Yeah, I think boredom is a massive trigger. Or not even that, just like boredom, being bored is shit. Like regardless of if it's triggering you or not, like boredom is shit. I just always try and like find new things to do that I love. Like finding hobbies where you've got other people who are like in a similar boat. Learning something's always good. But yeah, boredom's so hard. Like honestly, that's when my mental health goes really bad. When I'm really bored, I start like spiraling, overthinking. It's not good. Hi to Charlie to South Carolina. My sister's called Charlie. She's unreal, actually. Very pretty girl. So, right, David. Okay, I'll have a look. Won't say too much here. It's a lot going on. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, yeah, we'll do a one-to-one. It's confidential and we'll just hash it out. But I'm sober, not using. Just managed to get out of bed since this last weekend. I'm worried about the weekend, I guess. Yeah, okay, yeah, the weekend is really fucking shit. It is hard. Boredom also, we've got usually it's just what we associate with getting pissed or wrecked, whatever the addiction is. So usually I don't do one-to-ones, but I can fit you in on Friday if you want. David, because I know you've been coming to this channel a lot and you're really trying. So if you want to have a one-to-one on Friday, I don't normally do them, but I'll just fit you in. It'll have to be through the day though, that's the only thing. I know when people say put one foot in front of the other, now that I have 1 year down, how can I capitalise on that and build now? Yeah, so I would do, what I find would be helpful for you, but obviously you know you best, is when you're coming out of addiction recovery and you've had to go through the thick of it and you've been really practicing putting one foot in front of the other, you kind of built up a lot of resilience by this point. Like, a year is a long time. You've rewired your brain. Most people have by that point, not everyone, but a lot of people. So what I would do personally is think about where can you channel that resilience, grit and determination into something. Because look, we only live once, and I would say that there is something I would think, let us know if I'm wrong, but I'm sure there's one thing that everybody could think, this is something that I would love to do that I haven't yet done. And I would channel all of that energy into making that happen. Because if you can make addiction recovery happen, you can make anything happen. And I would work out how to make that happen. Like, what do you need to do to make that happen? And it can be anything. So it could be something like this. Like, for me, I'm like, I want to do like a YouTube channel. I wanted to do a podcast originally, so that was my first route. But it might be something like, I want to be in a happy, healthy relationship. So then you pull that energy into looking at your attachment style and stuff like that. And yeah, just whatever it is that you need to do to find that really healthy relationship. It could be that you want to go to a specific place. Like, my auntie always wanted to go to Hawaii. Like, how am I going to make that happen and channel energy into it? So it could be something really big or something small. But I would say that way. Because, like, realistically, you've turned your life around. You've done something that is so fucking hard. And to just sit there and be bored in the life that you've fought for sounds a bit counterproductive. Like, I would be doing everything I can do to make that life fucking unreal, because you fought too hard for it just to live a boring life. So I would try and build up an exciting life. Personally, anyways. Yeah, remember your why. That's a really good thing to say. Wow, how do you say that? Remember your why. Yeah. I think sometimes when you're coming out of addiction, you're in like this survival mode, and then you get to a point where you're like, actually, now I'm surviving, like, I've survived that. You kind of forget that, like, you're trying to get away from it just so that you could live a good life. So yeah. The house, just waffle on about random nonsense. I don't know if you're saying I do that or like just do that. I don't know. But I do waffle on. I do love a good waffle on. The joys of being ADHD. I feel as well like there's nothing to keep us in check. Yeah, all my friends are ADHD as well, so I'm normally interrupted by this point. How has School of Addiction been in the last 3 months? It's been doing really well. Yeah, it's been going well. It's going more like slow and steady, which is good. It's been like popping off a little bit recently, so I think YouTube is testing us. Hi, Menno, is that Silva? Are you Silva? Yes, I recognise because you say love. Thank you, Menno. This is this is what I look like when I would put my son to bed. So thank you. I'm glad you're approving of it. Hi to Brazil. Richard Guy saying exciting looks like breaking near to death, unfortunately. What looks like breaking near to death? That sounds so dramatic. I love it. Oh, God. Nights. Oh, I've just saw you, Silva. You said it's me, Silva. Night, Silva. Ox, yeah, finding something to put all your focus on makes staying sober a lot easier. Yeah, and something that you enjoy as well, like something where you can progress in it. Something that you can sit back and say, if I hadn't quit that addiction, I never would be fucking acing this. Like, whatever it is, even if it's just like for me, like, somebody asked us what my hobbies and interests are. Like, one of them is like self-help. I love learning about like the psyche, learning about myself, my body, just like something where you can just grow. I don't know what I was doing there. Dawn, I was sort of forced to stop everything when I got my HGV. What's HGV? What's that? Because you get random drugs tests in most jobs, and I have a lot of animals that I need to work and pay for. Oh, what animals have you got, Dawn? Yeah, sometimes we need a hook in the addiction. So when somebody said, remember what you're doing it for, you need a hook. So if that was Dawn saying, I'm bored and like, I just don't have a sober and I don't know what to do, the why would be for the animals. So go out and like, I don't know, enter into crazy like, I don't know, llama shows or whatever animals you've got. Like, go back to the why. Hi, Scuffies, how you doing? Me little Manx Scuffies are back on. The Kingdom, I have a Bonnie Blue addiction, that's why I come here. A few people said I look like Bonnie Blue. I didn't know who she was and I googled her. I do not look anything like her. Like nothing at all like her. Got blue eyes. I suppose I'm Bonnie. As you would say in Newcastle. My sister's actually called Bonnie as well, but that very loose connections. Daniel, I reckon you're from Texas. I'm not from Texas. I'm from the Northeast. I'm good, Smokey. How are you? Hi, Loreen? I don't know how you say that. Lauren from Louisiana. How are you doing? Dawn, you're way prettier than Bonnie Blue. Jesus Rice. Thank you. You're a stunning, beautiful lassie. Oh, thanks, guys. You've been really canny tonight. I mean, hair looks like I've been dragged through a bush. I've got a stain on my top, but I'm coming here and I'm getting bigged up, so I'm loving it. Hi from sunny North Wales. Is Wales ever sunny? Are you just coming on here and telling lies? I'm not sure. I feel like it's not that sunny. It's fucking not sunny in Newcastle. We've hit a new record of it raining. It's a new world record of it raining every day this year. No, I'm not a Scouser. I'm from Newcastle, Geordie. But Kingdom, I don't say bottle of water like you're asking us to say it. Faye, telling lies, yeah. Telling lies, little fibbers on the channel. Fucking Wales means sunny. I highly doubt it. Are you trans? No, I've got bold features. Big, bold, beautiful features over here. I can't even say. I don't say it like that. I know what you mean though. Big up Ant and Deck, Geordie Legends. I know someone who is maybe his aunt's cousin. I say no, use the term loosely. She was in my school and she could have been lying for all because she told us when I was in high school. I feel like she wasn't lying. Do you have a sister? Yeah, I've got three sisters. None of them look anything like us or anything like us. We couldn't be more different if we tried. Are you a Newcastle Football Club fan? Yeah, I used to be in the Magpie Club when I was younger. I just don't watch football anymore. But yeah, I used to have season tickets. Me dad and me grandpa used to share tickets when I was younger in the 1892 bar. I used to love it. But I don't know, I just kind of got bored of watching it. What are the difference between a single parent household versus dual parenting? I don't know. Well, I've never heard of dual parenting. I'm not very good with lingo. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. You tell me, Richard, Guy. I'm not sure. I am a single parent, but a co-parent. I know what co-parenting is. From Norwich. Hi, Chris. I'm sure I was sectioned in Norwich. I think it was Norwich. Norfolk. Was it Norfolk or Norwich? One of them. It was somewhere beginning with N that I don't intend to go back to. Mum and dad versus mum only. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, so the research shows that first, like, mums and dads have different roles. So people used to think that the mum would argue has the most important role, but dads have got equally important roles in different ways. So what they've found across cultures is dads' roles are to teach children how to socialize. So and it's whatever's socially important for them to thrive. So it might be different in different cultures, but that theme is the same. So for instance, it might be like you need to make loads of money to survive, or it might be that you need to be really kind to survive, or whatever it is culturally. So mums and dads are equally important. What they've found is it is better for a single mom to have a child by themselves if she's calm and collected than it is to have two parents when it's not. So like the mom needs to be supported. The mom's role is to like support and nourish the child. The dad needs to support and look after the mom. So if mom and dad aren't getting on well, then there's no one nourishing the mom. So it's actually better for dad to be out of the picture. And yeah, so there's a lot of research, and what they found is if a child's raised by one parent, as long as they're emotionally intelligent and they're attuned to the child grows up, can grow up to live as just as fulfilled life as somebody who's had two parents there. So it really depends a lot on the mum and how supported the mum is, I would say. But I also think dads are very important. So yeah. Do you see a lot of social issues where there is no father present? I think that probably is, yeah, I would agree with that. There probably is social issues. However, I think there's going to be more social issues if the parents aren't getting on. Like, kids pick up on tension. So it's like risk and reward. Like, ideally, you have a happy, healthy two parents with grandparents and friends and a community, and ideally you have a village raising a child, but that just isn't the case. So but yeah, I mean, there's going to be issues. The thing is, a child, like, it's not natural for a child to be raised in the conditions of a nuclear family, let alone a one-parent family. Like, let's be real. Like, we are mammals, we're animals, we're tribal creatures. Like, a child's supposed to be risen by a group of mums and a group of dads and grandparents and other kids to run around and frolic with. Like, it's not supposed to be these living conditions. So, like, a child isn't going to thrive with a one-parent family trying to, like, do everything by themselves, and that's something I've had to accept. It's really shit. Even just two parents it's not what we're supposed to be doing. Two parents working, like, kids are really struggling. Like, there's a reason why mental health is ridiculous, is because kids aren't getting their needs met. And then we're going into adults with unmet needs, and then we're taking those unmet needs and maladaptive strategies that we've created around these unmet needs into relationships, and then it's causing shit, and then we're having more kids, and it's just generational cycles, like, on a mass scale. Right, that's objective though. Yeah, Bones, it is really objective. It really is. And look, I'd like to think that I'm doing as good of a job as I can as a single parent. And I know a lot of, like, I think ultimately parents are doing the best. And I think the one thing that we have that's different is we've got a lot more information now, which can be helpful, it is very objective. It is very objective, but... that my point is objective. Like, it's very subjective parenting. Yeah. And it depends on the child as well. Like, that's a big factor in it. Like, it depends on the child. If the child's really sensitive, like, then they're going to be more sensitive to things. Like, some children are really resilient and robust and are less likely to be affected by things. So, like, each person has a temperament. Like, some children are naturally more hardy and more extroverted, more, do you know what I mean? And some children are a lot more sensitive and shy, and yeah. So again, it also depends on the child as well as the parents. Lasso, I read something very interesting, that most of the addictions have something to do with things your soul is missing or missed during childhood. That makes sense. Even, like, from, like, a non-spiritual standpoint, like, the majority of addiction's like a form of soothing. So if you want to say, like, soothing your soul, or like just soothing wounds, it's like, think of it like you're self-medicating emotional wounds. And that could be something like, you're feeling really disconnected from society, so you're really, like, isolated. That is a wound, and an emotional wound. We're supposed to be connected. Again, tribal creatures. But yeah, look, if you've had a really tough childhood, the likelihood that you have an addiction in adulthood is hugely bigger than if you didn't. And they've measured this in many different ways. Bones is saying it's different every family. Yeah, it is. I do think one thing, we can't really help the cards we've been dealt in life a lot of the time. There's some things that we can be in our control, but what I would say is really important for a parent isn't so much context will impact, but I think no matter whether you're in a nuclear family, you've got a ton of support around you, or you're a single one parent family like me who doesn't have any family around us. I've got my two best friends. No matter what your situation is, I think just work on emotional intelligence, because the more emotionally intelligent the parent or parents are, the more you're going to teach your child emotional intelligence, and the better it's going to be. So I try and think as a parent that I can't really help my situation. I am spread thin. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to own them. So I always apologise. If I stress, I name my feelings. I give permission for him to have feelings. So it's not the best life that I could provide for my son, but I try and give him the best nervous system to deal with what's going on in our house. And that's through me calming my own nervous system and understanding my own emotions. I'm a lesbian fish. I'm a fishbian. A fishbian? I'm not. Is this a joke? I don't get it. Bones, for real black sheep family situation. Oh, did you say something before that, Bones, that I've missed? Yeah, I get you. Yeah, a black sheep. Identify. Turns out I'm just neurodivergent. 2-bit Barley song. Is it normal to crave quitting what everything? No weed, no nicotine, practicing complete celibacy, no caffeine, weekly fast, even isolation, or address one's internal struggle. Might just be that you've got to a point where you're just it needs to change. I don't think there's any normal recovery. There's no one way to recover. If that's right for you, what I will say is be aware, nothing more, nothing less, but be aware of sometimes when we go all, we can whip back to nothing. So I've went fully abstinent from things before in my life, where I've just cut everything out, and then what I've found is that it's got too much, and then I've ended up falling off the wagon completely with everything. So just be aware that if you're going to do something to introduce things, just be aware, be conscious, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, I would imagine that is normal for you and other people. There'll definitely be people that I've felt like that before as well. I think it's just hitting breaking point when you're this life is fucking shit. What am I doing? What am I actually doing to my body, to my mind, to myself? But just be careful to protect yourself, and if you do that, think about how can you consciously maintain it. Racing, what do you think about club sports as a tool to recovery? Really good. I would say amazing. Anything that we get endorphins and dopamine from doing sport. So that's great, because drugs will get excessive amounts of dopamine trying to seek it. I would say that also with something like that, you have to think, if you're doing physical exercise and thinking, what you're doing is you're creating the perfect conditions for creating new neuroplasticity. So anytime we're doing that, we are literally rewiring our brain. So sport clubs is great because you genuinely getting better at something, you're learning perfecting skills with a sport whilst also doing physical activity. And also a club connection. There's a really good TED Talks by Johan Hari, who talks about the opposite of addiction is connection. And he argues this point in his book Chasing the Scream. I think it's called Chasing the Scream. And yeah, so like again, like having a club with group camaraderie is brilliant. Yeah, I'd absolutely advocate for that. Just find your niche. Tron, replace drugs with adrenaline. I started with Chapdoor Runaway, and last month I did my first skydive. I love that. My friend, she did a bucket list. That she, when she came out of addiction, she did has a bucket list that she's always checking off. And one of the things was skydiving. She loved it. Thanks, Glorious. I'll take that. Light and Slim, are you trying to connect with me? What do you mean by connect? like, I'm coming after you. I'm like hunting people down. It's like some weird like cult or something. I don't know what you mean. Right, Ray, what was the name of that book again? I think it's Chasing the Screen, but it's by Johan Hari. He did a TED Talks on it. It literally changed my view on addiction. And it's called Everything We Know About Addiction Is Wrong. I ended up doing like my full dissertation for my master's on it, and he actually like is interviewing me as well, so I interviewed him for me. It's amazing, the TED Talks. It was like, because I was learning about addiction and training to be an addictions therapist, and I had such a narrow-minded view of addiction until I watched this TED Talks, and it literally sent us on a total different direction of how I understood it. And then I ended up getting addiction as well, and I think that was really helpful. Bat Boy, I'm addicted to chocolate cake. Sugar is addictive. I like Bruce Bogtrotter. Ping Jubby, Ping Jubgy. Are you an ex-smackhead? No, I've never done smack. I've never done heroin. I'm an ex-ket head. I was addicted to ketamine. Fucking loved it. Unfortunately. James, how do I continue living when I lost my love of my life? Oh, I'm so sorry. James, how did you lose them? Was it a breakup, or did you like lose them? Ping Jubby, fancy going on a date? No, I am off the market. Thank you very much. There is such a stigma with addiction. Absolutely, Natalie Davey. There really is. There's such a stigma. And I had, this so misinformed. I had somebody who has been working in addiction for 20 years. Like 20 years, they told us on my channel, saying to us that it is the individual's fault that they have addiction. I was like, what? There is all the research says it is not the individual's fault. And they were saying it was the individual's fault that they have addiction, and they were like, well, I've never had an addiction. I've had shit in my life. I thought, what? You have been working in addiction for 20 years. Like, this is how ingrained the stigma against addiction is. It's seen as an individualized issue, and it is not. It's a welfarist issue. It's in the DSM-5, which means it's diagnosable because it literally changes your brain chemistry. It is, like, all of the research says that it does not happen out of a vacuum. It is a maladaptive response / attempt to self-medicate and soothe something going on underneath. Yeah, it's such bad stigma. Like, literally, I'm not so much on this channel to sit here and give tips and tricks. Like, I don't know if people have noticed that, but I don't give like too many like tips and tricks, which I know loads of them. Like, I'm happy to give them out to people, and like that's why I do one-to-ones, like if there's things specific to them. But what my main thing is to do is to try and break down the shame that it comes out of the stigma attached to addiction, because I think that's one of the biggest barriers that people in addiction has to face is stigma, and then the way that stigma is internalized. And yeah. BH is saying absolutely. Natty, you're saying what? Are you saying that 20 years? Yeah, honestly, Natty, I could not fucking believe it. I literally do not respond to trolls on here. Like, I don't get irate about them. I don't mind. But like, I've had a few people who've came on here who've been like addiction workers themselves, and they've been saying some outlandish stuff. Like, really outlandish stuff. And I am like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I know people who've been with addictions workers, and they're like, I literally made us want to just, it made us think that like there's no way anyone can help us because we're so shit. And actually it's just that the stigma is like bled into bias in actual workers. Bones sucks for me. What sucks for you? James is saying, I lost her after the Iran revolution. She broke up with me the night before and then lost contact with her. I'm worried about her. She's Iranian, by the way. Oh, I'm so sorry, James. I'm so sorry. It's the thing is, like, heartbreak is such a big thing to deal with. It literally is like, I've just been speaking about this recently. But like addiction is the same as like being in a relationship, so it feels like addiction recovery, like you're literally withdrawing something, like, because essentially if you think about it, we're getting like a whole host of chemicals going on in our body. So if you think about, somebody said replace addiction with something that gives you adrenaline, because then you're kind of getting addicted to your own vibes inside. Like you're getting addicted to your own endorphins, and like being in a relationship gives you loads of endorphins. Like that's why like that feeling of being in love and attraction is so intoxicating. So that's really hard, but also uncertainty is really difficult to deal with. Like uncertainty, so learning something new and uncertainty, and then there's one other thing and I can't remember, are the three most taxing things on our brain and body, like our energy levels. So uncertainty plus breakup is really hard. That's why closure's like really helpful in a breakup. So yeah, I wish I could give you some kind of advice on this. Obviously, I don't want to insult you by trying to give you like a 2-minute tip on that. I'm just really sorry that you're going through that. And I guess I wonder what you're doing for yourself, James. I wonder what you're doing for yourself, because living in a state of constant fight or flight is not going to be helpful for you or anyone around you, or even like the ex-partner. So like I would try and think about like what can you do for yourself in the moment, like day-to-day moments, and cut yourself some slack for feeling the way you're feeling as well. John Fitch is saying removing addiction is logical, replacement of addiction is ridiculous and will fail as a method of success. Yeah, I think we do need to distract and replace with something more healthy, but I get what you mean. Don't replace one addiction with another. And the thing is, like, but also think about it like when we remove addiction, there's going to be a huge space in our life because that's occupying the majority of our time. So we need to fill that space, but I would try and fill it with like fulfilling things, like wholesome things. Like try and fill it with a full life. So that's like, look, full life is goals. We need to have a big goal. It's like thinking about, okay, what things can I put in my life to make it a fulfilled, happy, content life. So that'll just be little things, little activities, little hobbies, interests, little habits that you're creating, little leaps of faith and doing something new. What's your thoughts on Kali Soba? Just cannabis, no prescriptions or anything else? From a medical point of view, Stephen, I really try and stay on the fence on stuff like that. I don't have an opinion on it. It's like, what my opinion is that the ultimate goal is to live a happy, fulfilled, content life, which includes, you know, if we really strip that back down to the basics, it includes like a calm nervous system. You know, we can't enjoy life if our nervous systems are just dysregulated. So whatever that looks like for you as an individual, that I would say that's what I would be pro for. So like for one person, medicalized cannabis, even like not medicalized, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't know anyone who smokes weed, or I haven't like had bongs and stuff myself. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking hell, I've smoked weed many a times. But like if if that is what works for that person, I'm not going to sit here and tear it down. Like, the goal shouldn't be this or that. The goal should be living a happy, fulfilled, content life with a calm nervous system and healthy, nourishing relationships with yourself and others. That's the goal. Whatever gets you to that from A to Z is like very individual. Addiction is a lack of recovery. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it's really helpful to always do the inverse, like look at the inverse, like what is the opposite of addiction? Like it's a lack of recovery. So what is recovery? Well, recovery is not just removing the addiction. Like recovery is a state, like a transition. One of the big problems that I see with people can be, not for everyone, but like what I see is often people see recovery as the destination. Like recovery isn't the destination. Recovery is like the next chapter, and it's the transition from addiction to recovered. We want to be aiming for a recovered life. So I'd say the opposite of addiction is recovered, not addicted. And if we look at, okay, what is addiction? Addiction is an attempt to escape from escape from something, like often ourselves and our past, and some kind of emotional and or physical pain, and or undiagnosed mental health disorders. So that's what addiction is. So we need to, what's the opposite of that? Recovered is dealing with all this shit, so it's no longer making us feel like living a life of addiction is better than not. So yeah. Stephen, treated like a vocation. You gotta want it and take action to change. You can't talk through or think out of it. It takes action and repetition to change behaviors and thoughts. It does action. And I started that off today, like talking about confidence, like building self-confidence. It takes little action. Like it takes showing up for yourself day in, day out. And when the action doesn't work or we hit a stumbling block, think of like recovered is the destination. So okay, I've hit a stumbling block. What does that mean? It means, okay, I've got some new data. I've got some data that for me, I relapse when. So how am I going to protect myself in the future? Or lapse when? Or it might be that I've hit a block where I'm feeling bored and I'm wanting to relapse. Okay, that's data. What do I do to get past it? And it's always action. Yeah. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Oh, hello, Deathhawk. How you doing? Like 5% changes add up. Have to break it down into parts. Yeah, absolutely. Like just 1% better every day. Just try and be in competition with yourself. Just think like, and not in a brutal way, not like, don't think about the destination, like don't berate yourself on the journey, but like, just think about like, I'm gonna try and be in healthy competition with myself. Like I want to be like better than yesterday's me, and I want to like have a goal and an aspiration for tomorrow's me, and just keep working at it and keep praising yourself every day that you're 1% better. Be like, fucking hell, even if you've just managed to stay the same, like, but you're still chipping away at it, that's brilliant. If you fall down and you get back up, fucking brilliant. Keep praising yourself and keep moving forward. Anyways, I'm getting a bit tired. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. Recently, I've learned if I just push through the tiredness, I get a second wind. So I'm going to try that. The door. When I go on manic episodes and get drunk, I wake up with broken bones. I can believe that. Theodore, honestly, when I get manic, I wake up and I have like thought that I was a witch or an alien or something. Like I go loopy loo in a manic episode. Luckily, I've managed to get myself in a position where I'm not getting to, like, I'm getting hypomanic, but I'm not making it to mania anymore, luckily. But yeah, I can absolutely believe that. I don't know what the fuck goes on, like, Manic Ashley is on a level, next level. Ray, what a huge insight that you see only now that you've been on both sides of addiction and recovery helping. You have contrast now. Yeah. It's one of those things I wish the version of me who was in knee deep in addiction could see that actually you get past a certain point and it does become easy and then it becomes amazing. But I just, yeah, it's so hard because until you've got past it, you can't see it. It's the same with anything. Like, we always think we can't do something, but then until we do it, and we have to keep showing up, and the messiness is the growth. But yeah. Glad I was here from the start to the end. Have you been here the whole time, Chris? I thought you went off to get your... Oh, no. Hang on a minute. You said you've had your wisdom tooth taken out. I thought you said you were going to get your wisdom tooth taken out. Did you? I thought you said you were going. Sorry. I didn't realise you've been here the whole time. That's just me being daft. Frederick saying, what's the difference between manic and hypomanic? It's like a sliding scale. So mainly if you have a manic episode, so bipolar, you have two types. Well, there's a cyclothymia, I think you call it, a third type. But you get two types of bipolar, which is type 1 and type 2. Type 1, you have to have had at least one manic episode. Type 2, you have hypomania, low mood, depression, and okay. So it's a bit like a sliding scale. You can have like really bad depression, like suicidal, like deep depression. Then it goes up to like low mood, okay, we're just like normal, happy, healthy person. Then we get hypomania, so that's going the opposite way to low mood. You start feeling so I keep getting a weird pain there. You start feeling like high on life. Like, life feels great, you feel a little bit euphoric, like you're gonna change the world. You get like this like kind of like amazing kind of feeling. It's a little bit like being on drugs without the buzz. And then that slides up to mania. Then you start getting like a god complex. You start to like believe outlandish things. You can get like hallucinations, like extreme grandiose feelings, like I am the chosen one, I'm gonna change the world. Like when I was hypomanic, so you start to get a bit grandiose. I genuinely thought that I went and signed up to be in the TA, convinced myself that I was going to go in and I was going to revolutionize how the army, like the whole army, like the military was going to approach mental health. Like, I just thought I was going to cure mental health in the military. Like, not well. I didn't realize I had bipolar at the time. So yeah, that is hypomania, and mania is like extreme version of that. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you believe you're Jesus. God level is dangerous, Theodore. Yeah, my friend, well, it's my godparent actually, she said, so she's bipolar and she's a vicar, and I'm spiritual, and she's like, if you believe in the Holy Trinity, like, that's fine. If you think you were part of the Holy Trinity, you're in an episode. And I was like, yeah, that is a good thing to remember. If I start to believe that, like, I am chosen, I am God, like Jesus or reincarnated, like, check myself into a mental hospital right now, please. The light and slim, you've cured me. How? Pray how? Chris, what you saying? I'm getting loads of people. I said I was here for the start. I left and came. Oh, right, you did say you're going. I sort of questioning myself then. I sort of gaslighting myself. Yeah, I was resting from wisdom tooth removal. Okay. I remembered half of the story. How's it feeling, Chris? Oh, Deathhawk, how are you feeling now? Recovering from surgery? I hope you're resting up and it's not too bad for you. It's not wiped out too much. Me mods are dropping like flies over here, and you're still showing up though. That is dedication. You could be EUPD though. Is that EUPD? Is that the like cyclocedia? I can't remember what EUPD is. Can you remind us? Ghost, talk to God, guys. It also helps a lot and could be of a detached mindset. Live as if today is your last day. I love that. But the better world awaits you tomorrow. It's helped me a lot with the mindset, overcome temptation. Yeah, you only live once. Only live once. I always imagine myself on my deathbed. I like check in with that. Like, would I be like looking back thinking, oh fucking hell, I loved my life. Like, I'm just what a life. What a shame I'm about to pop my clogs, but like what a life. And if I'm not thinking that, like, get moving, Ash. Dude, your accept is horrible. What's accept? Accept? Do you mean accent? Was that a really bad typo? Going well, just in pain. I can imagine, Chris. Fucking toothache is awful. Awful stuff. But, Chris, if you can get through addiction, you can get through this. You are made of steel. You've got this. Probably doesn't help too much right now, but... Is Tico on here? I haven't even seen Tico. Oh, hi, Tico. How you doing? Danes, it's a very big world, big universe with all sorts of things. It's nice to enjoy one life while we can. Yeah, it is. Bones, live life with no regrets. Absolutely. Yeah, we do only live once. And part of that as well is just like, don't shame yourself as well. Just like, I live one life. I don't want to be like my own worst critic in this life. I don't want to be like fucking mistrunchable towards myself, like lock myself in the chalky so I can't do anything and like putting myself down. So part of it as well is like not beating yourself up for not doing everything. Like, at least have like be your own best friend in it. Chris is saying, remember to be supportive toward one another. We all here because one went through stuff and we can be there for one another. Yeah, please do be supportive to everyone. I don't say all the comments, but if there's any nuisances in here, like, we've had a tough time, can we just be a bit love and light? Natalie, does schizophrenia also cause people to get a God complex? I don't know personally about schizophrenia. I've got bipolar, so I can talk, like, that's more personal. Not everybody who has bipolar has a God complex. I would imagine so there was schizophrenia because it's hallucinations. So like the thing with hallucinations is often it feels like it's not. Hallucinations can feel like something otherworldly. Like when I was having hallucinations, I thought that God was talking to us, and then I thought the devil was talking to us, like auditory hallucinations. So I would imagine so. Ghost is saying, yeah, for sure, it's all about delayed gratification. Addiction leaves me deprived and empty emotionally, mentally, physically and spiritually. Nothing beats natural natural hito. Yeah, I love being high on life. It's such a privilege. Like when you get past the point, and it's also doing the work. Like we need to remember we're addicted. We are escaping reality for a reason. So like we need to like look at why and then think about what am I going to do so that I don't want to escape reality anymore. But yeah, like when you get past that point and you actually get to a point where like I've built up an external reality that I love, and I pretty much adore myself at this point. Like when you get that kind of relationship with yourself, like that is like there isn't any drug which makes me feel like this. Because you just don't feel on drugs. You don't feel on drugs. And like one thing I've had to do with bipolar, which has been like a bit of a blessing in disguise, is I've had to learn to get comfortable in all emotions, because I can't avoid depression. Like I can't avoid feeling shit and low. I've got to a point where I've like actually learned to get comfortable in that, because I had so much trauma that I had to work through. I've got comfortable in feeling sad and crying. I've got comfortable in all emotions, except for shame. I really don't like shame. Try and get rid of that as much as possible. Like delve in and delete. But yeah, like I've kind of got to a point now where I'm like, I actually really love the feeling of feeling sad. Like if I have a good cry, it feels really nice. So yeah, and that's something that you would just wouldn't get. Connect